Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. For the past couple of weeks, as you guys might have seen, I'm posting a lot of travel related videos because we're approaching the travel season really quick, and it's definitely a right time to go and watch the previous travel videos because they're definitely going to help you book your tickets. But in today's travel video, we're going to switch gears a little bit and I'm going to tell you which are the best airline options available out there to fly, so that if you can find these airlines for a good deal, you've definitely scored the best way to get your trip started. So without any further ado, let's get started. Okay, so this is how it's gonna work. I will be classifying airlines from around the world into different categories based on their region, and then after that I'm gonna rank them based on how they perform overall. And so the first category we have got are airlines from the Middle East or Middle Eastern airlines. Now, as the name suggests, almost all of these airlines are based in the Middle Eastern region. Now, they are usually the best airlines to fly out there because they have the best food, in-flight entertainment system, seat, check mark all the boxes, and they are the best option available to fly. And also they fly to almost all destinations you can imagine because they have these really good hubs out there. You might have heard of Dubai, Doha, Abu Dhabi. So they just have one connection in their hubs, and then they fly to almost all destinations you need to go to. And other than that, the only downside that these airlines have is that tickets on them can get really expensive. So if you do not book, like say 2 to 3 months before your journey, then you might be paying a very steep price. But no matter what, the experience on these airlines is always good. So which are the top Middle Eastern airlines? The first one I have got is Emirates. Now, I have flown Emirates before multiple times, the latest one being last year when I flew them during the pandemic when I was first coming to the United States, and I can definitely vouch that they have one of the best airline foods out there, the best in-flight entertainment system, no doubt, because they've been voted that by a lot of airlines and Skytrax. And also connecting to Dubai is the easiest thing ever, and the staff is very friendly over there as well. So Emirates definitely takes the first place. On second place, I have got Qatar Airways. Now Qatar Airways again check marks all the boxes as Emirates does, and again transiting to Doha's Hamad International Airport is again a breeze. But the only reason they are below Emirates is that I have found the tickets to be really expensive, so I've not really got an opportunity to fly them. But from my friends who have flown Qatar Airways before, I have heard about sometimes there being bad food, so the experiences have not been really consistent, so that's why they rank below the likes of Emirates. In number 3, I've got Etihad Airways. Now this airline, if you have seen my earlier videos on the channel, you see I've had a love-hate relationship with them. I have flown them 2 times in the past 6 months when I was going back home to India and I was coming to the US, with the worst experience being when I was coming back to the US, where I got stuck in Paris because their flight was delayed and they didn't give me a hotel or any food vouchers. So I have somewhat of a love-hate relationship with them. But if I take all of that aside, I think that they're a really good airline to fly. They have really good seats, in-flight entertainment systems. The food is a little bit questionable, but I think so it was just my route that day that had terrible food. But other than that, Etihad Airways, which is Emirates' sister airline, is really good, and I would definitely recommend them as well. On number 4, I've got Turkish Airlines. Turkish Airlines again flies to a lot of destinations out there. Before the pandemic, at least it did, and it is also known for having some of the best food out there. And with the new Istanbul airport opening, I think so transiting to it is going to be a super easy process. But other than that, I have not heard really good things about it in terms of hard product like in-flight entertainment or seat. So definitely it comes down here below in the 4th place. Now, other than these 4 airlines, there are other airlines out there as well which are super underrated based in the Middle East. They are the likes of Kuwait Airways, Gulf Air, Saudi Arabian Airlines. Now all of these airlines are not that well known as compared to the likes of Emirates or Qatar Airways because they don't really have a lot of destinations out there. They only fly to like main cities like London, New York JFK or LA, but they don't fly to other secondary cities, say Miami, Dallas. So you might have not heard of them a lot, but they're definitely good options to fly, and we have heard like really good things, especially from my friends and other people. Even in the YouTube community, I have seen really good reviews about these airlines. So yeah, these are some of the best Middle Eastern airlines that you can fly on. Okay, number 2, East Asian Airlines. Now for the purpose of this video, I've included a few airlines from the Southeast Asian region as well, but leaving that aside, these airlines have some of the best service standards out there in the world, and they have competition from the likes of Emirates. So yeah, they're definitely good airlines to fly, but the only major downside I would say is that they have been severely infected by the COVID-19 pandemic. So you will still see COVID-19 restrictions on board. You will have additional COVID-19 test requirements if you're transiting through their hubs or something like that. So yeah, it adds a little bit to the hassle, but other than that, they're really good airlines to fly. Now, which are the best airlines in the East Asian region? Number 1 would be Singapore Airlines. There's no doubt about that. Singapore Airlines is one of the best airlines in the world according to me to fly, and they checkmark all the boxes such as in-flight entertainment, seat, service, food. So yeah, that is all good out there. And their hub, that is Singapore Changi Airport, has been rated one of the best airport hubs in the world for multiple times, and they have a water fountain in the middle of the terminal. Just how cool is that? So yeah, Singapore Changi is a very good place to transit. And like I mentioned just now, the only downside is that they have been severely affected by the COVID pandemic, but they are getting faster back on their feet than rest of the competitors in the region, and their route network is slowly getting back. So yeah, definitely Singapore Airlines is going to offer you much more options going into the future. Now that was number 1. Number 2, I have got 2 Japanese carriers, that is Japan Airlines and All Nippon Airways. If I have to grade these 2 airlines, I would slightly give the advantage to All Nippon Airways because they have a slightly more solid hard product. It's a little bit more up to date in terms of seat and in-flight entertainment, but the service is pretty much the same on both these Japanese airlines, and the route network to the US is again not that great, but again they have some pretty good destinations that you would want to fly to. So yeah, they come in second. And in number 3, I've got Cathay Pacific. Now Cathay Pacific before the pandemic was a really good airline and a really good option to fly, but because of COVID-19, the route network has shrunk to a few mere destinations, and transiting to Hong Kong again because of the pandemic has its own restrictions, so it's going to be tough for that reason as well. But other than that, if you can, it's a really good option to fly, but I wouldn't really bet on it. So yeah, it comes in third. But other than these 3 airlines, I feel there are a few other small airlines that are worth the mention, such as Korean Air, Thai Airways, Asiana Airlines. They were really good before the pandemic, really big names in the aviation industry, but they have lost their place, lost their standing. So I can't recommend these airlines, but they wouldn't give the same standard, say the likes of Singapore Airlines or Emirates. Okay, now the third category of airlines that we have got is European Airlines. Now European Airlines is where the situation gets tricky because there are just so many airline groups present in Europe that it gets really difficult to understand itineraries once you book flights with them. But if you leave all of that aside, they offer an above average product and service on board, so definitely nothing compared to the likes of say Emirates or Singapore Airlines, but yeah, they're decent enough to fly. Now just to classify them and rank them, I will be ranking the airline groups out there in Europe because most of these airline groups own all of the major airlines in Europe. And the first one that I've got is Air France KLM group. Now no prizes for guessing where Air France is based. And as for KLM is the flag carrier of the Netherlands. Now they rank first on this list because they are more consistent in service and route offerings than any of their other airlines, and also other than the fact that Paris Charles de Gaulle Airport, hub of Air France, is a mess to transit, they have a really good onboard product, food and in-flight entertainment system. Also, if you're looking to see how Air France performs, I have a video dedicated to them which I made in January when I was flying from Paris to Miami on my way to the US. So yeah, if you want to see how Air France performs, there is a video in the channel, so yeah, go check that out. Now in the second place, I have got the International Aviation Group. Now despite the fact that they have the word international in their name, it only consists of 2 major airlines, that is British Airways and Spanish carrier Iberia. They come in second because they have a really good hard product, and also they have a really good route offering, so that is why they get the second place. And finally in third place, we've got the Lufthansa Group. Now Lufthansa Group has the German carrier Lufthansa, Swiss Airlines, and a few of the major, not really major but smaller airlines based in Europe. So they not really have a lot of international routes, so we're not going to talk about them, but they get the third place because they have a very inconsistent service from what a lot of the talks have been in the aviation industry, and their hard products are severely outdated. That is why they get the third place in this ranking. If we remove these three airline groups aside, and there are just a few standalone airlines that are good as well. So there is the likes of Finnair, and there is Virgin Atlantic, again based in London, and you have also got SAS, Aer Lingus. So yeah, there are a few other airline options available out there, but these three major airlines group control most of the flying out there in Europe. And now finally we've got US Airlines. Now before I go into US Airlines, I just wanted to give a brief mention to Indian Airlines out there. And there are just two major Indian airlines out there that fly to major long-haul international destinations. The first one is Air India, and we all know that the reputation of Air India precedes itself, so I'm not really going to go into them, but I really hope that the company starts to do better now that they have new owners after being privatized. The second one is Vistara, which is owned by the new owners of Air India, that is the Tata Group and the Singapore Airlines Group, so it's like a joint venture, but they have been doing pretty well from what I feel, but there have been recent reports of corruption within the airline which has affected the service on board. So yeah, not really consistent, but definitely one of the better options to fly from if you're looking for just Indian airlines out there. So yeah, those were Indian airlines. Now let's talk about US Airlines. Now US Airlines definitely do not have something great to offer compared to the likes of Emirates. They, I would say, have a mediocre hard product in terms of seat and in-flight entertainment system, and the service is also not something that you would really look forward to if you're flying on say Middle Eastern Airlines or the East Asian Airlines. But they have a very extensive route network, and that is something that really works in their favor. Now if you have to rate the US Airlines, the first one would be Delta Airlines. Now Delta Airlines has a very extensive route network, and because of the partnership with the Air France KLM group, it really puts them out there, and they have a really good hard product and soft product in terms of service as well compared to other US airlines. So yeah, definitely Delta ranks number one. Number two, I've got United. Now United is again really good in terms of hard product. They're definitely bringing in new seats, and they're also upgrading the in-flight menus and service and food. And the only complaint that I have with United is that they just offer one free checked-in bag when the international standard is 2 free checked-in bags when you're flying major long-haul international routes. So yeah, that's my only complaint, United. Why can't we have 2 checked-in bags? And finally, in number 3, we've got American Airlines. And American Airlines is not doing anything to catch up with its competitors of Delta and United. The hard product is outdated, the service is nothing great to brag about. So yeah, American Airlines is kind of falling apart, so that's why they come in 3. Other than these 3 legacy carriers, you've got the likes of JetBlue, Southwest, Spirit and Frontier. Now they just fly to a couple of destinations in Central America, Caribbean. JetBlue just started flying to London, but they don't have major international routes beyond that. So yeah, I'm not really going to talk about that. But other than JetBlue, most of them are low-cost carriers, so yeah, there's nothing great in the service out there. So yeah, those are American carriers. And yeah, that pretty much concludes all the major airlines that you need to know about before booking your tickets and which are the best of them. Now with the major airlines out of the way, let's talk about student discounts. Since most of the people here on this channel are students, there are a lot of airlines that give out student discounts, but I'm just going to talk about the 3 notable ones and a bunch of others which I'll link down in the description if you want to check them out, because student discounts can be a little bit more rewarding if you're traveling consistently. Okay, so the first airline offering student discounts is Emirates. So if you're a student on Emirates, you can get up to 10% discount on your base fare. You also get additional baggage allowance, so that's like an additional piece of baggage or 10 kgs extra, that depends on your final destination. And you also get additional date change flexibility if you are a student. So all you got to do is use the coupon code student when you're booking your flights on the Emirates website. Other than Emirates, you've got Qatar Airways. Now Qatar Airways is a very extensive student discount program, so you need to join like a proper club in order to like gain access to these benefits. Now these benefits are almost same as Emirates, but you've got a few additional ones. The few additional ones are free Wi-Fi on board. As a graduation gift, they give you like a free upgrade, but you need to meet like certain criteria requirements for that. But other than these 2 major ones, or the other ones are almost the same. So you get like 20% discount on your base fare, additional baggage and flexibility change, so all of that are same. And if you want to sign up for that, there is actually a referral link down in the description below, so if you sign up using that, you will get a few miles, I'll get a few miles. It's a win-win situation for both. And finally, we have got Etihad Airways. So Etihad Airways will give you 10% discount on your base fare. They will also give you up to 10 kgs of additional baggage allowance, and you will again get the additional date change flexibility. So pretty standard, nothing new to brag about. So yeah, those are the three major airlines offering good student discount programs. Now if you fly Turkish Airlines, Singapore Airlines, or Lufthansa, even they have student discounts available, student programs, but they are not as great as what the other three airlines that I just talked about have. So yeah, if you want to check them out, I will leave a link down in the description below for all of them, so that you can get to know and you can pick the one that you like the most. So yeah, that is everything that you need to know about airlines, which are the best ones out there. Now if you've got a favorite airline that you always fly and you've always had good experiences with, leave them down in the comments below so that everyone can know about it. But if you guys have any other further questions regarding airlines, I have my contact details down in the description, which can help you with it. But other than that, please like the video and subscribe to the channel, and thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.